there was kind of a number of people who didn't really like 2022 for gaming, even though we've had big hits like Horizon, Elden Ring, God of War. There was actually kind of a lot of opinions that a lot of the big hitters were pretty sparse, and I'm here to say I think 2022 was actually a perfectly paced gaming year, especially for busy gamers like you and me. My name is Josh, I am the Datamer, and I talk video game news, reviews, and discussions in general. Stick around for why I think 2022 was perfectly paced for us busy gamers. So we have major games that released in 2022. Horizon Forbidden West, if we look at Metacritic, it scored an 88 with critics. It scored an 8.0 with users. When we look at how long to beat, it takes around 28.5 for strictly the main, and then 61 hours for main and extra, more if you're a completionist. It took me actually about 95 hours to beat this game. I really took my time with the quest in this game, so I really took my time and took longer than average to complete it. So if you are interested, you can check out my review for this game. I'll link it up below. It's about 25 minutes, and this was one of my first videos that I made with this microphone. Next up, we have Game of the Year, Elden Ring. Congratulations on Elden Ring for your Game of the Year win. This scored a 96 with critics and a 7.7 with users. How long to beat? You're looking at 54.5 for just the main, 99 hours for main and extra, and even longer for if you're a completionist. Personally, I did not play this game. It's just not my style, but I will say congratulations on Game of the Year. This was well-deserved, and I would actually be surprised if it didn't win Game of the Year, even though I haven't played it yet. God of War Ragnarok is up next. It scored a 94 with critics and a 7.3 with users. How long to beat? It takes about 24 and a half hours for the main, 37 and a half for main and extra. This game is still sitting unopened in my collection. I'm playing through Sonic Frontiers right now, and I wanted to beat that first because I know once I open God of War, it's just opening Pandora's box, and I'm not going to be playing anything else besides God of War once I open it. So, busy gamers, time, yeah, it's actually odd that I haven't opened God of War yet, but I digress. Splatoon 3 scored an 83 on Metacritic with a 6.9 for users. How long to beat? This is kind of a weird one to say how long to beat, because we're mainly talking about the main campaign, which is about 8 hours, and 11 with extra. Really, the main focus of a game like this is the multiplayer, which you can invest as little or as much time as you want to put in there. I'm going to have another video for this particular game from a dad's perspective, because while I will admit it is an objectively good game, I will say that for busy gamers like you and me, it's kind of a difficult game to put a number on, because games like this, first-person shooters or something, you're competing against one of two people. If you're playing online, then you're playing against people who delve into this game all the time and have a lot of skill, so you as a newbie really have to put in time to get good at it. As far as an objectively good game, yes, it is a good game. As far as a good game for you and me, it might have a different story. I will have a video up on that soon, though. Sonic Frontiers was another game. This I really think should have scored a little bit higher. It scored 71 with critics and 8.2 with users. That kind of says something about the game when the user score is higher than the critic score. So, how long to beat? This game takes 15 and a half for just the main, 21 hours for extra. I have personally logged 20 hours into this, and I've gotten the first 3 areas open. I have not progressed past that. I'm almost done with the third area, so I think it takes me a little bit longer to beat video games than the average person, so maybe I'm not the best person to judge how long a video takes to beat on, but I personally would vote this game a 9, and that's a very subjective rating for it. There's a lot that holds it back from being the perfect Sonic game. There's a lot of just weird issues with the game, but I digress. It is a really good Sonic game. I say all that to say this. There were a lot of good games in 2022 that released. Of these, I chose 5 to say these 5 games, if you add up all the ones I just referred to, take 209 hours to play the main and extra. I didn't go the completionist route because a lot of people don't actually complete games, and I didn't want to skimp out on saying just the main quest, so I chose at the average of main and extra. So now, this is actually also not counting games like Kirby, Mario and Rabbids, Pokemon, games that you may have picked up on the eShop for a couple of dollars. Also, your backlog. Let me know how your backlog looks in the comment section below. Obviously, you're taking time this year to play those games on top of the new games. Personally, in my backlog, I'm still working on Kena Bridge of Spirits, Guardians of the Galaxy, Mass Effect Legendary Edition, Last of Us, and that's just on PlayStation. Busy gamers, assuming that you have 1 to 2 hours each day to invest in video games. I'm talking like at the end of the night once your family goes to bed. And that's also if you play every day. Not all busy gamers can play every single day. Usually, and I'm also going to assume that maybe you have 1 day of the week dedicated to roughly 5 or 6 hours of video game time, like I do. Mine is personally Friday nights. I start usually around 9 o'clock or even 10 o'clock sometimes, and I go till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning most times. So if we take the games that I mentioned that released in 2022, that's the 209 hours roughly makes up about 11 weeks of gaming in 2022, which is about 25% of the year. So gaming from strictly these 5 major releases is a quarter of your year, which may not sound like that much, but then when you consider that you're a dad, you're a student, you're a football player, responsibilities can actually add up really quick, and they can rob you of your time of video games because of life. So personally, I think 2022 was really well paced between heavy hitters and just okay games. It was well paced to allow for both your wallets and your time, which is more important than really anything, because at this point, I'm assuming you have jobs that allow you to invest in the hobby of video gaming, but your time, now that you're married, you have kids, you have other responsibilities in life, time is actually a bit more of a factor than money is. I will say 2023 does not look as forgiving. They definitely look like there's a lot of hit video games coming out, a lot of cool stuff like Hogwarts Legacy, Jedi Survivor, Final Fantasy 16, etc. So, how did 2022 treat you? What games did you get? Let me know in the comments below. Let's talk. If I've earned your like and entertained you, consider subscribing and becoming a busy gamer like we are. And I do have more videos that I think you will like right here. So until the next one, go spend more time with your families, go ace that next test, go throw touchdowns before playing Call of Duty. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.